Hey, hello. How are you this evening?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I can't find anything to complain about just yet, so thank you.
Huh?
How have you been all this
I mean,
time?
you could complain about global pandemic. I don't think anybody would fault you for that.
You know, I think I've been complaining about it. I think every single day, so it's nice to have at least a little time off from complaining.
Sure. All
Yeah,
right. I respect that.
yeah. I've been trying to find the positives in this pandemic, and today was a great weather day, so that was at
It
least,
was. That's true.
yeah, it was on the low 60s today for us. So it was nice to go outside and work out a little bit, walk around. That was probably one of the highlights of this pandemic is we're having warmer weather.
That's true.
Yeah,
I get walk my dog today, and I was like, wow, this is super nice. And I
yeah,
walk my dog every day, but it was nice today.
yeah. And the dog on its best behavior.
No, but she never is.
Oh,
So
okay.
one of these days we'll find what best behavior is for her.
What kind of dog do you have? I'm curious.
She's a Chihuahua poodle,
Oh, okay. And what's her name?
Braciola.
Oh, I like that. I like that name a lot. So, how have you been during this entire pandemic?
I have actually been very well. I am super fortunate in a lot of ways. That has made this pandemic not very hard on me at all. One, both me and my wife are employees of the city and continue to get paid like normal, even though we are not working.
Yeah.
Which I know a lot of people aren't, don't have, and are struggling. I also am lucky enough to be married, so that's why I'm not alone in my house. I have a person who who I rather enjoy being around, who is with me, going through this with me. So there's a lot of ways in which I think I have it better than a lot of people when it comes to getting through the self quarantine.
Yeah. Would you say she'll say the exact same thing about you?
I would hope so.
That will be a sitcom in the making. If not, I would watch that. Coming on CBS Mondays at 9. So I'm curious. You seem to have a strong knowledge of politics and our government and all that. What was your first impressions of this virus when it first happened? Did you really take it seriously, or did you shrug it off?
Um, so I honestly don't think I had a lot of information, I think, regarding what we were in for and how this was going to go. And, part of that certainly is a kind of a failure of government in that, there was a fairly critical time in late January in which, being told, exactly how bad this could get and exactly what the stakes are and, taking all these precautionary measures early, I think would have been a whole lot more advantageous to everybody, myself included, because I didn't, when the first, like, hey, maybe stay away from people stuff started happening, I wasn't 100% sure exactly how necessary that was. I certainly, even as finger on the pulse as I try to be, I was certainly less than informed, or less than fully informed about how serious this was all going to go down.
So when you heard about the pandemic, or when our president used the word pandemic, were you like everyone else and immediately overreacted, or did you take some time to kind of get to know what this is and then go from there?
Uh, I don't think at any point I would have said that I overreacted. I'm a chronic underreactor in most things. Um, that's usually where I fall. Unfortunately, in things, I usually maybe don't freak out enough a lot of the time.
Yeah.
but I remember. So I'm a substitute teacher, and I remember, in the week or two leading up to when everything shut down, people talking about it, and everybody, the teachers especially making plans in their off time and in their planning periods, being like, we're pretty sure this might just reach this entire country to a halt, so we're going to be ready for that. And God bless them, they were.
For sure. So you say you were a substitute teacher. What's your job now? You obviously, do you still sub, or what's your role now for education?
So they don't currently have substitute teachers doing anything.
Okay.
My wife, though, is a full classroom teacher.
Okay.
And she is still planning and preparing work and send home packets and communicating with children and parents and making sure that they're at least still learning to some capacity. Obviously, it's not ideal.
Yeah.
It's pretty far from like the full classroom experience, but at least the city is, and the individual schools are doing their best to try not to make this like a summer slide times 4 sort of thing, where they're trying to keep the kids working and learning to some extent, despite everything else.
Yeah, I know at Columbia, where I go to school, I think a lot of the classes are now just pass-fail. You have the option for, instead of just having a grade, you can either say, I want to pass the class or I want to fail the class. So as of right now, I don't know what half my grades are. Hopefully,
I hope they're passing.
I was going to say, hopefully I'm passing. I got 6 more weeks till I graduate, so I want to get on the passing level. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what school is now, if I even call it school. Do you think kids still have a drive for learning, or that going to school and doing homework is like the last thing on their mind?
That's a very interesting question that goes into a lot of human drive to do in a 16. I think it all just sort of like boils down to the individual students and their parents and the sort of like environments they have. Because I've definitely known kids to, when they don't feel like they're being forced,
Mm-hmm.
kind of really want to learn stuff.
Yeah.
They're very, very curious. They very want to know, but what they really don't like is being told that that's what they have to do. And that's where you get the kids are like with homework sort of thing.
Yeah.
Usually if you don't know something, you want to know it, and that goes especially for children. But when it's not something you want to learn and you're being told something you have to do, they kind of neglect intentionally to do it. I actually think, if I can just go off on a crazy tangent
Go for
for
it.
a moment.
Go for it.
But this actually feeds into that question you asked. I'm looking at the adults sort of thing, and I think, if nothing else, this pandemic has proven why a lot of weird fear-mongery ideas about why social safety nets might be bad
Mm-hmm.
are complete bull. There's the theory you'll have people say is like, oh, well, if people have the option to just not work and collect unemployment, or not work and live off the government, they'll absolutely do that. And it's like, I don't think so. Everybody who I know, especially those of us who are still getting paid like normal, my finances haven't changed during this pandemic, and we are all just absolutely losing our minds, wanting to go back to work, wanting to do something.
Yeah.
It is not better for me that I'm just sitting at home watching TV than going to work and making the exact same amount of money I was making sitting at home watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
I think people in general like to do things and like to accomplish things, and nobody's happy sitting at home getting paid by the government. People don't want that if they can avoid it. So the people for whom those sort of programs would really benefit, and expanding that sort of social safety net, and the people that help, I think that's so far worth the fact that maybe somebody's going to abuse that system, but it does not seem to be the human impulse to want to just stay at home and do nothing. None of us want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's climb on down off my soapbox now.
That was a very lovely soapbox, and I think we all needed that right now. Yeah, I'm trying to, like you, I'm trying to find something new every day to do. I'm currently growing a mustache. That's been fun to have every day.
Oh yeah, I'm full quarantine beard right now.
Oh, really? Did you have the beard before the quarantine, or is this something when you knew you were locked down, you're like, I want to grow this, see how much I can get?
So I generally have facial hair to some extent, but I keep it kind of like as a you know a heavy scruff sort of, as opposed to an actual like beard.
Yeah.
Mostly because a lot of times as an actor, I just have to shave for things.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to become committed to like a full beard and then be super bummed out when they're like, hey, we need you clean shaven for this. But like, hey, I don't have to look professional anymore. Like, these small amounts of work that I am doing for some of my other sort of like gig employers doesn't involve me having to look professional.
Nice.
Like I was asked to build a puppet, so that's a nice way to pass time.
Oh, good. Have you always made puppets before?
I do. I make puppets fairly frequently. I've been paid to do it quite a bit, to build puppets and to puppeteer. Is one of my several artistic passions there. So I was commissioned to build a puppet. Turns out Joanne's is closed for the foreseeable future, so that's rough. But getting the start of it done.
Yeah. I'm curious, do you have a character in the background for this puppet yet?
Oh yes, very, very specifically, it's Elmo from Sesame Street.
Oh, that's perfect. Can you do the voice?
Yeah. I can't.
Ooh.
I can try. I can attempt. But it'd be very, very bad.
That's okay. Hey, now you have a lot of time to practice.
That's true.
Yeah.
Luckily, they're not paying me to be Elmo. They're just paying me to make Elmo.
Okay.
I hope they have somebody in mind who can do the voice, because it's not me.
That was a very nice attempt at trying to go Elmo.
It wasn't. It was just me inflecting high.
Oh, okay.
My Elmo would be up here. Elmo's ready. That's about what I got.
That sounded like Pennywise's like kid.
Yep. See? That would not delight and entertain children. It would make them run for the hills.
I give you an A for bravery, okay?
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I'm curious, when this is all over, or whenever this is over, what do you think the reaction's gonna be like to coming back? Do you think it's gonna be very slow of like going out and going to events, or do you think it's gonna be a very immediate bar is completely packed the first night?
Unfortunately, I think it's going to be the second one, and I also think that's going to be a problem. My prediction, here we go. Putting it down permanently in podcast form.
Okay.
So you can hold me to this when it happens or not.
I can't wait.
I think restrictions and guidelines are going to be relaxed way too early. People are going to flood back out to the bars and things because they missed them. Mm-hmm. Believe me, I missed them too. And we're just going to get hit with a second wave of this, and we're just going to do it again. It's just going to. We're going to go out there before it's contained, before it's ready, probably far before we have a vaccine or anything.
Yeah.
And it's just going to come back.
But see, this is where I come back to like the weather, for example. We're going to have this very nice weather for now the foreseeable future. It's April now. I think this is going to trigger people of thinking, oh, it's nice. It should be killing the disease or the virus. This is what people have been saying. Wait till the spring. Wait till the summer. Wait till it gets warmer. The warm weather kills the virus. So we should be fine. But I'm not so sure if that actually works. So yes, I'm excited. I get to go outside. I don't get to wear my winter coat anymore. That's away for the season. But knowing this is a tiny victory for me. This is not gonna solve anything. It just means I have something else to do. It's not gonna kill anything.
Right. Yeah, and I'm certainly not a doctor, and for those of you listening, I am not a doctor. Don't take my advice.
But you play one on TV.
I have yet to play one on TV. I would love to. If you're casting a doctor on TV, call me.
I'll let you know.
But I don't see any evidence other than just sort of like the anecdotal people just get less sick for things like the flu during the summer than they do during the winter. Saying that this coronavirus in any way is like affected by warm weather. Mm-hmm. Like it might be affected by the circumstances regarding like, oh, when people are like outside and stuff and are just like, you know, getting their exercise and their immune systems are stronger. It's like it's not a thing that we see so much. But what I have seen is that, you know, this particular virus is really, really good at hanging out in the air and in water especially. And that's what I'm worried about, is that it's really, really good at hanging out in water. So if everybody just jumps in the lake and somebody is still sick and still carrying it, there we go. Now we're back.
Yeah. Well, that's a great feeling. There goes my pool party.
Again, I'm not a doctor. I could be totally wrong.
Yeah. But you know what? It's a good theory or opinion. And again, we're not going to know until either A, this suspension is over, or B, someone comes up with a vaccine. But even that's ways away.
Yeah, so you got to get people to get the vaccine. That's the other thing. People are like, oh, we get the vaccine, it's all going to go away. No. You have any idea how many people just never get, like, seasonal flu vaccines or never get any vaccines, like, period? Like, that's still not going to solve everything. It's going to get people to get the vaccine.
Yeah. Walgreens does COVID testing. Our store does not, but, you know, we've had people come in asking for it, wearing masks. And, you know, it's always a nice, scary feeling to think, oh, did that person just walk in with the COVID disease? So I get to go back tomorrow and have that scary feeling every day. So my life is a horror film is what I'm saying. Michael, to change topics, we met for improv last Christmas as fictional townspeople in a fictional town. So I've asked our friend Leah when she was on a couple weeks ago what her character think. You played Archie Tenenbaum. That was the name of your character.
Tenenbaum.
What would you think your character would be reacting right now if he lived in this pandemic?
Oh, Archie would be living through a nightmare. I don't think Archie would be doing very well. Archie thrives on getting work done and helping people and meeting people and shaking hands, and that is all he is about. He would just be pacing in his house, trying to figure out what he could do. He'd be accidentally just knocking stuff over while trying to make things better. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe Zoom would be a real godsend for him. Him and his twin sister Myra would hop on the FaceTime or what have you.
He has his face glued on the camera on the laptop.
Oh yeah, just calling everybody, texting everybody, just trying to get. Oh yeah, no, Archie. Thank goodness, Winter Wonder Town had a very strong pandemic response that is not currently dealing with this crisis, because wherever Archie is right now, I'm sure he is happy to not be self-quarantined.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I can't imagine what Henry Eyes would be doing right now. Well, he'll probably still be working, to be honest.
Probably delivering mail, That's an essential service.
Yeah, but I think he would have a sled. He probably wouldn't be walking anymore. He'll be dropping things off real quick. gloves, obviously, and then maybe like a fake Santa beard.
Yeah, but which is like a mask underneath it.
Yeah, that's what I'm going
Like
for.
a mask, but like he didn't want people to like panic and like be reminded about the situation. So he put the Santa beard over top.
Yeah.
So like he's being safe, but he's also not like worrying other people.
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know what you feel about this, but since this whole pandemic has happened, I notice a lot of people have been putting up their Christmas lights or putting on Christmas movies to kind of get like a joyful feeling back into their lives. What do you think about that?
I think it's a good way to go about it. Not gonna lie to you, I always have Christmas lights on in my house.
Oh, really?
They're on right now.
Oh.
We put them up like last April, and they just light the house. There's sort of a warmer thing in the living room, the very like bright and abrasive lamp that we have here. So, but it's very good bright light. But just throw on the Christmas lights. So it's nothing new for me. But I definitely like if you can trick yourself into being like, oh no, we're staying inside because it's cold.
Yeah.
The weather outside is frightful, and no other reason. And we're just hanging out at home on the couch watching TV because it's Christmas break and we don't have work on Christmas. Not for any other horrible reason. Like if you put yourself in that mindset, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like the world's longest winter break. Who wouldn't love that? Come on. You know what's funny? I was watching The West Wing before we recorded today, and I don't know why, but the character Josh, played by you've seen West Wing, correct?
I'll be straight with you. I never saw The West Wing.
Really? Okay. So the actor.
House of Cards. I saw all the way through House of Cards.
Yeah, that's okay. We don't need to talk about that show. For specific reasons. Yeah, I watched the first episode, and then the next day the whole Kevin Spacey thing happened. I was like, well, I'm gonna give a break on this for a while.
Yeah, I can imagine that's sort of uncomfortable. I was with it as it was going, as the show was being released. So like,
that's good.
So I started watching when it was like 2 or 3 seasons, sort of thing. So I caught up, and then I saw every new season as they came out. So that wasn't a huge issue for me because once all of that happened, like he got fired from the show, and then they do the last season without him, which is it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Because there's I won't get into any spoilers for House of Cards, but like there are definitely lots of like plot points and scenes that happen where you're like, oh, this is a scene that you wrote for Kevin Spacey's character, and you just put a different character in here, and then did the same scene, and it's weird. But I thought that the show at least did a very great job of making a stand on that particular point. They did that commercial early on where it was they kill off the character because he can't be in it, and they're just like real sassy about it. That was fun.
That's good. But
anyway, you were saying it's Josh from the West Wing, yeah.
So the actor Bradley Whitford reminds me so much of you on the show. So if you have the time, and I think you should, give West Wing a shot, and then look for the character of Josh, and think to yourself, "Oh, that's me."
Cool. I'll do that, and then I will return to you either flattered or offended. Because I haven't seen the show, so we'll see if that's a good or bad thing.
No, it's a good thing. We like Josh. Josh is cool, and he makes it through the entire show. So
we're pro Josh.
Yes, we're pro Josh. I think so. Yeah, we like the actor too.
That suddenly makes a lot of sense. You're not going to believe this, but literally, just I want to say it was today, a friend of my wife said that I look like a Josh.
Really?
Just like, maybe she's a West Wing fan. I don't know.
I think you have a conversation to have. There you go. I think we just had a miracle.
Yeah.
There you go. Michael, I can't...
All the pieces are fitting together.
It's the circle of life.
Yeah.
Michael, I can't imagine a better person I want to talk to during this pandemic. So I thank you for taking some time for letting me call and having this chat. This was a lot of fun.
Of course.
Thank you. Hey everyone, thanks again for listening to this episode of You Have a Minute, a daily isolated podcast. My thanks to Michael Tuffy for coming in and taking some time to chat with me. It was a lot of fun. It was a learning experience, this one. So I hope you guys learned a lot. Michael's a great guy, a very funny guy, and a very sweet guy. We got to work with each other last Christmas at the Winter Wonderfest in Navy Pier, and he was a delight. Like I said before, and I'm going to say it again, please stay safe, wash your hands, drink fluids, rest, and we will get through this. Thanks again.